Hello there, everyone. It is Gabby LaPera. As you may have noticed from the title on this episode, this isn't one of my regular shows. I sat down a few times over the last couple weeks and tried to edit an interview for y'all, but honestly, my heart wasn't in it. This is a really intense moment right now for the United States, and it's been a really long time coming. We are finally as a nation facing the reality of racism in this country and the accompanying brutality that has been a part of our country's DNA since basically the beginning. And this is a really, really important time for us. And I'm pretty much just focused on that right now. And one of the things that I've been seeing a lot floating around on the internet is that if you have a platform, that is a privilege and you should use that to try and reach other people. So I've been thinking a lot about how I can use the Anthrobiology podcast to maybe reach out to some listeners. And I know it's not a huge platform, but it's what I've got. And I want to do my part. And hopefully you do too. So what I'm going to do with this show, instead of a regular interview, is I'm going to give you all 12 things that you can do to make a difference. The other thing that I've been seeing a lot online is people saying, I don't know what to do to help, and hopefully this can kind of get you started. After we cover those things, I want to take a few minutes at the end of the show to talk about how the show might change moving forward and what my commitments to you, my listeners, are with this show. Things that I want to change to be more inclusive and to be a better representative for anthropology and to help biological anthropology advance as well. Okay, so on to the list. All right, hold on here. It's kind of a long list. Number 1, educate yourself. Don't make others do the work for you. The reason I'm saying this to you is because I'm thinking of 2 students that I had when I was teaching in Nebraska. They came up to me after a class that I taught on human variation, and they thanked me for candidly answering all of the students' questions that they had on race. And these 2 students were Black women, and they said that they were exhausted from constantly being on and constantly feeling like they had to be ambassadors for their race. It shouldn't be a burden on them to educate you, especially today, where we have so many different resources available to folks to really learn, right? There's the internet. Go to Google, go to Bing, go to Internet Explorer, whatever your preferred search terminal is. Go there and learn the history that you didn't get in school. If the internet's not your thing for whatever reason, go to your local library and ask your librarian. They're going to be so jazzed to help you. I guarantee it. Every single librarian I know is an incredible person, and they're all about spreading knowledge. So long story short, do the work to educate yourself. I believe in all of you, and I know you can do it. Number 2, listen. If someone comes to you and tells you their story, I want you to just listen to them. Don't interrupt them. When they're finished, don't say, wow, I can't believe that happens in this day and age, because look around, it's clearly happening. Like, they are telling you their truth. They're entrusting that to you. And what you need to do is really, really listen to them and believe them. It's okay that you didn't know, as long as you're making an effort now to know and an effort now to listen and not discount other people's stories. Number 3, examine your own biases. This is a key tenet of anthropology, of all 4 disciplines of anthropology. We constantly encourage biological anthropologists, all anthropologists, to figure out what their biases are and how it could affect their work. But this is something that we should be doing as regular, everyday people too. And it can be really hard to identify your biases, especially because a lot of times they're so normalized and so pervasive all around you that it's hard to see them. It's like, does a fish see water? I don't really know, but we are the fish in the water and we're going to try and see it. There's a lot of tools online to help you identify your biases. I strongly encourage you to take the unconscious bias test online as just a starting point, and then write them down. Write down what some of your biases are. Think about strategies for how you can identify it in your everyday life, right? Think about strategies for how to deal with those biases in your everyday life. Number 4, tolerance isn't enough. The first time I heard that sentence was from Elie Wiesel during a lecture that he gave. He said that tolerance isn't enough. That is the bare minimum, and it's not good enough. What we need to aim for is love and respect. And in this particular moment, what we need to aim for is to be anti-racist. We have to be active about it. If we see something wrong, we need to say something. And don't let people give excuses anymore, okay? Oh, she's old, or oh, things were different when they were coming up, or oh, they're from a rural area, they don't know any better. Those aren't excuses anymore. They were never excuses to begin with. We cannot tolerate that anymore. We need to stand up for our brothers and sisters. Number 5, if you make a mistake, own up to it. You're going to make mistakes. I make mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. What makes you who you are is how you choose to deal with those mistakes and move forward. Right? Do you acknowledge it? Do you make a plan for not repeating those mistakes? Do you apologize to people? Or do you just pretend it never happened and try and paper it over, make excuses for yourself? You get to decide who you're going to be going forward, and you know what's right, and I know you can do it. Number 6, use your platform, use your privilege, use your ability to speak in ways that other people can't or might be punished for speaking. I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. It's what I'm trying to do right now, hopefully with some degree of success. We'll see. Number 7, seek out Black scholarship. Use it, teach it, elevate their voices. This is perhaps a little bit more aimed at the academic portion of this audience, but one of the ways that we can help with anthropology's diversity problem, because there is a diversity problem, let's be real, is by ensuring that a diversity of voices are heard. And that means maybe going out of your way to look for scholars that you hadn't looked for before and trying and incorporating them in your curriculum and getting your students exposed to them and getting other researchers exposed to them. Number 8, donate. If you are in an economic position where this won't pose a hardship on you, you can consider donating to causes that do good work. Everyone has their own favorite organizations. The organizations that I donate to are the ACLU, the Equal Justice Initiative, certain bail funds, and RAINN, which is the Rape, Abuse, Incest National Network, and the other organization that I donate to as well as Planned Parenthood. If you can, it's a great way to help other people who are way more organized and way smarter about their area advance their agenda. Just something to think about if you're able to. Number 9, march. If you are physically able to and you feel safe doing so, march in a protest. I know that this is a really hard time to give that advice, right? Like with coronavirus and with the incredible amount of police brutality that we've seen at these protests. I'm not saying that you should go if it's going to put you in physical danger, right? And if you do go, like, please wear your mask. Please try and stay socially distanced. Please use hand sanitizers. Take all of those steps that you need to keep yourself safe in order for you to go. And if you don't feel comfortable marching, that's okay too. I will say that one of the really nice things about going out to the protests these days is seeing what a wide variety of people there are. It's so different than it has been in the past, and it's really beautiful, and it really helps to see all of those other people who are standing there with you. Number 10, support Black businesses. Go out of your way to buy from Black businesses. I don't talk about this a lot, but I strongly feel that personal finance is political. I think that a lot of the financial systems that are in place in this country work as systems of oppression that keep people in poverty. Without money, people don't have power. Getting money into communities is one of the best ways to empower them and hopefully to change the system. Number 11, contact your politicians. Write to them, tweet at them, fax them, give them a phone call. And I'm not just talking about your senators and your representative. I'm also talking about your local politicians, because a lot of the decisions that are being made about police forces aren't happening on the state level. They're happening at the city level. They're happening at the county level. That's why it's so important to be involved in local politics. It's hard. It doesn't necessarily feel as exciting as national or even state level politics, but because they get a lot less attention from the average person, that also means a lot less oversight and also the potential for a lot more things to go wrong because people aren't paying attention. So that's why it's really, really important that you contact all of your politicians. And segue into the last point, number 12, register to vote and vote in all of your elections. National, state, county, city, all of your elections. I know it can be super overwhelming to look at that ballot. I still remember when I moved to San Francisco and I got my first ballot and I was like, this is really long, and I haven't lived here that long and I do not understand what is going on with any of these initiatives. Luckily for a lot of cities, there are websites that you can go on that help explain the ballots. One of the most important things that you can do too is not take those websites at face value, but to try and understand the initiative from both sides' perspectives so that you can really understand what it means for you and what you think as an individual. It's just really, really important to vote, guys. And if you haven't, again, please register. Please get ready for this next election cycle. Oh, and you know what? 13. I'm adding one more. And that is take care of yourself. There is only so much that you can do in a day, and you are a single person. Okay? And you shouldn't beat yourself up because you can't do all 12 of these things all at once. I personally deal with a lot of anxiety. I've spent so much time feeling alternately like I'm not doing enough and like I'm doing so much at any one given moment that I'm going to explode. And that's not a healthy cycle. And that's why I think it's really important to be able to take a step back and take care of yourself. And even more, especially with what's going on right now, like I mentioned with going physically to marches, it's really important to take care of yourself physically right now, more so than ever. Take care of other people by making sure that you stay healthy. I really care about all of you. If this episode has brought up any hard feelings and you want to talk, feel free to email me. I'm always here on the internet. I don't really sleep that much, so I will probably answer you pretty quickly. Yeah. Anyway, those are the 13 things that you can do right now to help. Okay. So, completely switching gears. The show. I have been thinking about what this moment in time means and how we can take the lessons of what's happening right now and really apply it to what I'm doing, what's important to me in my personal life, one of the things that I think that I would like to do is make a commitment to you, my listeners, that I am going to actively think about how to make my show more diverse and more inclusive. That's a very easy thing to say, but what does that actually mean? Well, the first thing is that I am going to make sure that I look for guests that come from different perspectives. Previous to this, the way that I picked guests was like pretty willy-nilly. It was like I read an article and I thought they were interesting, so I called them up. Or someone else that I'd interviewed said that they would be a good person to interview, so they put me in touch with them, or it's just someone that I knew from work, that kind of stuff. But I'm going to make an effort to be a lot more thoughtful about who I pick to interview. And then the second thing that I want to commit to is making sure that I talk to guests about race and diversity on the show. And I think that that can take a lot of different shapes. One can be, how is biological anthropology as a discipline doing with diversity right now? Short answer. It's better than it was, but that's not saying much. And how can we improve as a discipline? I also want to talk more about the historic background of biological anthropology and the role that it plays in race relations today. And I also really want to talk about the concept of race in anthropology. This is something that I've touched on a few different shows, but especially in forensics, one of the first things that law enforcement officers ask forensic anthropologists is, what race was the decedent? What should we put on the missing persons flyer, right? Were they black? Were they white? Were they Asian? I think it's really important that we dig into that more deeply too. So I'm going to think about how I can pull together a show that does that, and hopefully put it together later. Full disclosure, I have already pre-taped 10 separate interviews, and I still want you to hear them. They were a lot of work, and the people that I talked to were really great and really smart. So I'm still going to be releasing those. I just don't know what the cadence is going to look like. But this is something that I want to confirm that I am going to do moving forward for all of you right now. Okay, well, that's it. I'm sure you're very tired of hearing me talk. I'm tired of hearing myself talk. That's why I'm the interviewer and not the interviewee on all of these. Anyway, thank you so much for sticking with me through this whole show. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you in a couple weeks with a brand new episode. Hope everyone is staying safe out there.